House fire destroys a home in the busy community of Perry County, and today holds a special meaning in Pikeville as family and friends of fallen police officer Scotty Hamilton remember him.
Well, the snow we've talked about for all week is finally arriving. Those details coming up now on First at 4.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Justin Case. First at 4. We've declared a severe weather alert day for today and tomorrow as snow is expected to arrive late tonight and early tomorrow morning. Chief Meteorologist Andrew Dockery is here to tell us how that snow may cause some travel issues late tonight and going into Saturday morning. Andrew?
Yeah, Justin, you said it best. Travel issues and the impacts of this forecast, really the reason why the severe weather alert day has been issued. It's not going to be the largest snow you've ever seen in eastern Kentucky. Some locations may not even get an inch, but with snow expected to stick, we will see some problems for your Saturday morning, and that's why we've issued this. Let's take a look at satellite radar. You'll notice at this time clouds starting to increase, and this system already dumping down some serious snow. Just came out of reports south of St. Louis where snow is falling an inch an hour, and they already have 3 inches on the ground. That's going to be working its way into Kentucky. For us, it's not going to be that severe, but some snow arrives as we do have those watches and warnings from these winter storm impacts. The pink, that's the winter storm warning. You get into the purple shade, that is a winter weather advisory, which goes until noon tomorrow, and it really splits up the WYMT viewing area once again right in half. If you see your region, your county, not shaded in that winter weather advisory, that means warmer air intrudes in, kind of ruins your chances for snow, but you still see some a little bit at the start. Temperatures right now at 35 degrees in Hazard, 34 in Pikeville, and the 40s in the Cumberland Valley. That shouldn't impact us much tonight. In fact, we drop pretty cold. The snow arrives right around midnight, and it continues through your Saturday morning. Some slick spots, Justin, going to be the big story. We'll continue to keep you updated and have the full details on those snow totals coming up in a few short minutes.
Andrew, thank you. Cold temperatures brought more of a challenge for Avawam volunteer firefighters as they fought a house fire on Rock House Fork Road in the busy community of Perry County earlier this morning. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch is in the newsroom with more. Taylor?
Justin, officials tell us the fire could have possibly started in one of the back bedrooms of the house, but the cause of the fire is still unknown at this time. And though flames are one of the biggest threats, freezing water has proven to make things more difficult during the winter months. Firefighters tell me every year they learn new valuable lessons, like remembering to rely on other sources for water, like neighboring creek beds, never shutting off the fire hoses, and keeping the pump circulating at all times. Officials say the temperature sitting in the 20s, the water streaming down from the fire makes the road resemble an ice rink. And most importantly, they must remember to keep their men safe.
If they're out standing around the trucks, doing other things, been in the water, you want to get them close somewhere and dry them off and make sure they don't get frostbite or get hypothermia.
Everyone in the house got out safely. One child was sent to the Hazard Hospital with minor injuries. Justin?
Taylor, thank you very much. 1/11, today's date, holds a special meaning for those in Pikeville. Today is Officer Scotty Hamilton Day. Hamilton, a Pikeville police officer, died in the line of duty last year. WYMT's Macy Marie explains why today was set aside to remember him.
Today, 1/11, marks Officer Scotty Hamilton Day in memory of his badge number.
All units observe a minute of silence in honor of our brother, Officer Scotty Hamilton.
A radio call and a gathering to remember their fallen brother.
We just knew that we was going to retire that number, so it symbolizes him because that's who he was. He was 111 to us.
When the clock struck 1:11, the department officer Scotty Hamilton called home. His family and community members shared a moment of silence to remember him.
He was always my go-to guy. He was always that guy I was going to call and get some advice or some help for anything I needed.
Loved ones say while this moment was all about honoring the officer, it is every day they remember the friend, family man, and person they looked up to.
He was always funny. He always liked to have a good time. You never seen him in a bad mood. If he wasn't smiling, there was something serious wrong with this.
Officer Hamilton joined the Pikeville Police Department in 2006. In Pike County, Macy Marie, WYMT Mountain News.
Officers with the Pikeville Police Department say they will do something on this day every year to remember Officer Hamilton. A 13-year-old Wisconsin girl missing for nearly 3 months after her parents were murdered was found alive. Nearly 3 months after she disappeared, Jamie Kloss has been found alive and safe. Kloss was missing since October 15th after police say they discovered someone had broken into her family's home outside Barron and killed her parents. For months, police and volunteers searched for the 13-year-old. Nothing turned up until yesterday. At a news conference this morning, the Sheriff's Department gave an update on the case.
Jamie was taken to a local hospital up in the Duluth Superior area where she was looked over and examined, and she was held overnight for observation.
Authorities took a suspect into custody. They've identified him as 21-year-old Jake Patterson. The partial government shutdown is now 3 weeks old, and Saturday it will become the longest in U.S. history. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers are not getting paychecks today, and neither congressional Democrats nor the president appear ready to make a deal. CBS's Nicole Killian has the latest from Washington.
Vice President Mike Pence reassured U.S. Customs and Border Protection employees the Trump administration will keep fighting for a border wall.
We are going to continue to stand with you until you have the resources and the reforms to do your job.
Funding that wall along the southern border remains the sticking point that's keeping the government closed.
800,000 federal employees and all American citizens are held hostage. When do we come together and say enough?
We need to push pause on requesting specific conditions before talks resume. We need to lay down our swords.
President Trump says he may sidestep Congress and declare a national emergency at the border. That would allow him to use unspent Pentagon funds to pay for the wall.
The bill is passed.
On Friday afternoon, the House joined the Senate in voting to ensure federal employees receive back pay once the shutdown ends.
Oh, it's sort of like a slap in the face.
But workers who aren't getting paid now say they're dealing with a roller coaster of emotions.
We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know, when we're going to get our next paycheck and how we're going to be able to pay our bills.
About half of federal workers who aren't getting paychecks, like those who guard the border and TSA employees, remain on the job. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
The union that represents air traffic controllers filed a lawsuit today suing the Trump administration for withholding their employees' pay. Appellate court proceedings in a case that could strike down the Affordable Care Act are halted because of the government shutdown. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals agreed to put the case on hold because of the lapse of appropriations. A federal district judge in Texas issued an opinion last month declaring the ACA's individual mandate unconstitutional. Last week, a coalition of Democratic state attorneys general led by California appealed. But the government asked that the proceedings be postponed because of the partial government shutdown. The U.S. military withdrawal from Syria is underway after days of confusion over President Trump's decision to bring troops home. A U.S. spokesman confirms the military has started pulling out of Syria. President Trump's abrupt decision in December to withdraw American forces because ISIS was defeated triggered the resignation of U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis and sent shockwaves across the Middle East, with confusion over how the pullout order would be executed.
They're all coming back, and they're coming back now.
A U.S. defense official tells CBS News it will take 3 or 4 months to get the 2,000 American troops home, and operations against ISIS will continue during the pullout. The Supreme Court says Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's recovery from surgery is, quote, on track, but she will miss oral arguments next week. Ginsburg is still recuperating from surgery she had to remove 2 cancerous nodules from her lungs. A court spokesperson says a post-surgery evaluation indicated no evidence of remaining disease. Ginsburg missed oral arguments this week and was not on her bench since surgery last month. but she has been participating by reading briefs at home. The justices met behind closed doors today to discuss pending petitions, and Ginsburg participated by proxy. And heading over to the New York Stock Exchange, where WYNT's parent company, Gray Television, rings the closing bell. The Dow closes down more than 5 points. Straight ahead on First at 4, we'll preview the Girls All-A Basketball Classic along with some district matchups on the boys' side happening here in the mountains.
And the snow arrives tonight and into tomorrow morning. It's going to be a busy overnight here in the WYMT Weather Center. The details are coming up next.
The job market is always changing, but with the right education, you can be ready for whatever comes your way. At Big Sandy Community and Technical College, you can get that education close to home and with the state's lowest tuition. With over 30 programs and 200 credentials, flexible schedules, in-person and online classes, and industry-leading training in as little as 6 weeks, we believe in you. Visit us online at bigsandy.kctcs.edu or call 855-GO-BSCTC. Classes begin January 14th.